Welcome to The House, a real estate podcast that breaks down all the walls and helps create your open floor plan to success. We sit down with the movers, the shakers, and everyone in between to hear their stories and how to build success in this world. So draw up those building plans and start pulling permits, because this is The House and we're breaking ground now.
All right, we are back for another episode of The House Podcast. Today we have Louie from Freedom Traders. If you want to know what's going on in this market, everybody's talking about two things. Crypto, the stocks are all up, interest rates are all down, the housing market is crazy. So if you're looking to get into any type of investing, this is the podcast for you. Again, if you're looking to take any money that you made from your investments and buy a house, give me a call, 516-732-6398. Well, let's get started. Louie, welcome to the show.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
No, I mean, this only took about 6 months to come to tuition, so I'm glad that we got it done.
Yeah, busy schedules, man.
You're crazy busy. Came a long way from you have a wild ride, I would say, over the last couple of years. Definitely wild. From fires to investments to.
Oh, you remember that?
Yeah, I mean,
a firefighter, right?
That's funny. No, I'm talking about the fire from.
From the Babylon store.
Yes.
Yeah, that was crazy.
So you've had some ride.
Yeah.
Over the last couple of years. So for the people that don't know who you guys are or you in general, give us a little couple minute spiel about that, and then we'll dive right into stuff that you're doing.
Definitely. So, I mean, like Josh said, I'm big into the trading world. What we do really is to facilitate knowledge, our information, our research and analysis to help better teach people to trade. Right. So we do like the structure where we give out certain plays or stuff like that, where we're going to be like, all right, we think this is a good trade that we're making. And if you'd like to make it, yeah, be my guest. You can follow. We have a pretty good track record, so you have a higher likelihood of success rather than just, if you're just shooting in the dark,
right?
You might not make it. So we have that pretty good track record if people want to follow that. But the main thing that we like to do is be an educational service. So we host webinars, we have Q&As, we have an open chat forum that's all, 24/7. You can ask any question you want. And if we have the answer, we'll give it to you. And if we don't have the answer, we'll find out the answer.
Right.
So.
I mean, that I think is huge, because I think a lot of people, everybody sees everybody posting how much money they're making in crypto these days, how much they're making in Bitcoin, how much they're making in stocks with Tesla and all these different things. So they want to get involved. They don't know really how to get involved or what to really do. They start investing some money. Maybe they have $5,000 that they want to try out, and they lose it instantly.
Yep.
Because they're learning, but they're not really learning because they don't know what to really do.
Exactly.
So they don't have anybody to look up to. So I feel having a company to, maybe somebody like your guys' selves, where they can kind of get an idea from other people and not be, on a solo ride.
Yeah.
And be able to kind of be like, all right, maybe let me try out this first, see if this works, and have some guidance. I think that's super important.
Exactly. So the idea really, the premise behind it is, what would you pay for knowledge like that? To avoid making bad decisions. Let's say a new trader is going to come in and they're most likely going to blow their account up, right? So even when I first started trading, I lost a few $1,000. Everyone does. If they tell you that they're 100% right 100% of the time, I could tell you that's 100% false. So with having some knowledge behind it, it comes into the mindset, and the question everybody should ask if this is for them is, what would I pay to not make the mistake, to not lose a few $1,000s? And if a membership fee to an investment platform makes sense to you, and you're like, okay, you know what? I'd rather have some reassurance. I'd rather have some better knowledgeable traders that have experience and have a few $1 million in profits to show, guide me. So when they pay that membership fee, it's almost like an insurance policy saying, you know what? Instead of having a 50-50, whether the stock's going up and down,
right,
I have like an 80-20 because the chart makes sense. It's been explained to me. I understand that the stock is meant to be moving this way by the way it's trending, by the way it's set up, by other technical factors and stuff like that.
Yeah, you're not shooting in the dark. You're backing it up with facts.
Technical analysis.
Exactly.
Not a lot of people like to read books, right? And I'll be honest, I hated reading books.
Big audiobook guy.
I'm a big audiobook
guy. I cannot sit and read a single book. I think I maybe read 5 pages of a physical book since school has been over.
My Audible, right? So like if you scroll down my Audible, it's just like a ridiculous amount of audiobooks.
Yep.
And what I like to do is like I'll do a little bit of cardio or whatever. I'll hop on the spin bike and I'll just listen. I don't need to always have a book dead in front of my face.
Right.
Sometimes I just sit there, try to absorb the information. And I've read a few books like 2 or 3 times just to absorb it. And like I was never this person. When we first met, dude, I was like, I'm gonna go to the gym.
Dude, you were all gym. You made your money. You would come. You were doing a million different things, and I never saw like this side of like your business side.
Business side.
Ever.
Yeah.
I mean, it's crazy how much like you have transformed, honestly.
Yeah.
Just from seeing things that you guys were posting and just talking before you got here. But it's crazy to really see it. It really is.
I honestly, I have to attribute that probably to personal training. So being a personal trainer, I did that in the mix of working at the restaurant with you. But you have to manage your own schedule. You have to manage your own clients. You have to have a nice structure for your clients with workout plans, food plans, the whole 9 yards to make sure they're structured. You become your own business owner. Yeah. Whether you're working for a corporate company or whatnot, you're still managing those clients. And that's what taught me the structure that I needed going forward, managing a different company.
It shows right there, though. No matter how big the business is or how small the business is, it's almost the same structure, the same tendencies. You still have to follow certain things. No matter if it's the company small or large, to still get to that company to become large at one point. Exactly. Regardless if it's yours or not, like you still need to do certain things, just on a smaller scale.
The problem is that people go into these things and then they just go to like their 9 to 5. They're like, you know what, I'm going to take a paycheck. Well, if you go into a 9 to 5 and you're like, I'm going to collect a paycheck, I promise you're going to live paycheck to paycheck forever.
Right.
The way I look at situations, if I'm going to go into something, I'm going to go in 110%. And I'm going to blow it out of the water. Everyone's going to be like, why is this kid doing this?
I feel like your person, like I have a very similar personality like you. Like when I do something, I want to be like one of the top guys, if not like, that's my goal. Exactly. I want to be like the person everyone's like, holy shit, like they're crushing it, right? And other people, listen, no knock to 9 to 5s. For me, I can't stand them, but I won't knock people that have 9 to 5. Some people, they just want to come in, punch the clock, do what they got to do, go home, not have to worry if something goes wrong and this and that. And, they make an okay salary, they make a good salary sometimes, and they're comfortable. Yeah. And some people just want more. They just their lifestyle, just their mentality. Yeah. They just want more and to be like they don't want to work for somebody. They'd rather work triple as hard to make the same money if they had to, but it's for yourself.
Exactly. So I mean, you as well. You were working the 9 to 5s. You were a manager at the restaurant for a while. Doing your thing, and I was always seeing you there. And I was like, damn, I'm like, he's hustling, he's doing his thing.
Always had to be there.
But now you're probably working 10 times more. You're probably working 24/7 sometimes for clients.
Yeah, you do what you got to do. But, the thing that I like, why I got into real estate and I left the restaurant businesses as a whole, there's no ceiling on what you can make.
Exactly.
Yes, it is all commission based, just like trading. I don't know if it's considered like commission or what the correct wording would be, but you have no limit. Mm-hmm. If you bust your ass, if you want to work hard, you can make as much money as you could possibly imagine. Yep. And then the whole point of making that money would be almost like your guy's slogan, you want to have that freedom. Yeah. So you want to take the money that you make and put that into things where you can make more of it without you physically working. And we just did a conference the other day and Grant Cardone was there, and his big thing was you only get so much time. Mm-hmm. Right? You can't get more time. The only way you can get more time is to pay more other people for their time.
Exactly.
Right? So if you can maximize their time to make you more money, that's how you can do it. So, the whole thing of, which is why I kind of drew to what you guys were doing, because you guys are taking that money and kind of implementing different things where people can bring in that residual income that passive income every month, and not physically have to use their time for that.
To do it. Yeah, that's the whole premise. You want to give more freedom, more financial freedom, speaking, because you could have freedom of time and everything like that. But money might not bring you happiness, right?
But it buys a lot of things that make you happy.
Yeah, that's one thing. Yeah, 100%, man. But at the same time, you can use that money for other things. Let's say like a big thing for me is memories and experiences. Like I like to use my money for memories, experiences. Don't get me wrong. Like are like the little cool luxury items. Like nice to have. Yes, of course they're nice to have. They're cool. I don't really look at pieces like that anymore. I look at things as like investments. But the main thing is like money equals, financial freedom equals experiences and memories for me. So with that equation, I was like, what, this makes sense.
Right.
I'll work my ass off really to make sure that happens. And it worked.
Well, speaking of pieces, I know if, people that follow you, you're a big car guy.
Love
big
the cars.
watch guy.
Love the cars, love the watches.
You know, but what people aren't seeing is just because you're buying like these expensive per se watches, it's also like an investment because these watches go up in value and how hard they are to get, and you know they do make money. Yes, they're great. You know, to have on your wrist, and people see them and they're like, "That's dope." But it's not just, you know. I think Kevin O'Leary, I think, is a big watch guy,
He's
and
a
I
big
think,
watch guy as well.
but he goes, they're investments. He goes, I just wear some of them, but they make me money year after year if I decide to go sell it.
Yeah, I have watches that I leave in the box. You know what I mean? I don't.
You don't even wear them.
I won't even wear them.
Right.
You know, because I know they're going to sell for more than what I paid for them at the correct time in the market. You know, it's all about doing your research with those certain things. And people are just like, you know what? I want a Rolex. I'm like, all right, why would I want that Rolex? You know what I mean? Like, I want to know what's the you know history behind it. What's the, you know, the evaluation of it going to be like next year or the year 2 from now, whatever.
It's crazy, like the values. I never knew watches were so like big like that.
They're huge.
But like I saw something the other day. Somebody posted, they're like, yeah, Rolex Daytona is like the hardest watch to find. Apparently, it's like it's a $15,000 watch. They're selling for like $50,000 right now because you can't get one. I'm like
the green face, the gold one.
It's just
I love that watch.
crazy.
Yeah,
I never knew like. I mean, I hear things, but like I never really like paid attention much to it because I'm not like a big jewelry person. Like I never was, so I never paid attention to it. And then I see like people are buying these watches and they're like, yeah, this is like an investment. This is going to be worth, you know, I could sell this thing tomorrow for like $10,000 more than I paid for it. I was like, that's wild.
Every watch that I've owned, I've made money on. And it's like incredible to me because coming from where we were, I was never like crazy. Like I fantasized about having like that AP.
You see that, you're like, shit, I'm going to get that shit one day.
Yeah. I was like, I really want that. You know, when I set aside like 20, 30 grand, I'll go buy one. Now I look at it as like, you know what, 20, 30 grand sitting in my bank account. How about I put that in an investment piece? I get to enjoy it sometimes. I get to put it on my wrist. Mind you, I keep it in good condition. And then when I go to sell it, I make a little bit on it. So you've got the pleasure and the investment out of it at the same exact time.
That's wild.
And it just keeps growing and growing.
How long do you keep an average watch for before you're selling it? Or are any of them like you're just holding on to like forever? Like I'm not selling these ones.
Right now I have 2 watches that I'm probably gonna hold on for like a little bit of time. You know, I'm wearing one right now. It's Di Bethune. It's actually pronounced a little bit different, but you know.
I couldn't tell you how you pronounced it. If it was right or wrong. Never heard of it, so I'm just gonna say it looks really nice.
I love the watch company, but the average time I really keep my watch is probably like 6 to 8 months.
So you're flipping them pretty relatively.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 watches a year I'll flip. I've actually only flipped like 2-3 watches.
Okay.
So, and I made money on all of them. So 100% success right now. We're doing good.
Doing good. So that's crazy. You would never think about that. You could flip watches and make money. There's something out there for everything.
I read online that a guy was flipping couches yesterday.
Yeah, Ryan Pineda.
7 million or something like that.
I don't know. That's where he started like getting his investments. I think I follow him, Ryan Pineda. I think if that's what you're talking about, I don't know. But he started out doing his investments. Now he does like a lot of real estate investing and stuff like that. He started out buying couches at like garage sales, this and that, and just Craigslist and then flipping them. I'm like, listen, if you want to hustle, like you could hustle. Like there's hustle.
Buy a storage unit, whatever, throw 10 couches in there, flip it, make some money. I was like, wow.
Yeah.
You know what? You thought outside the box. Congrats to you, man.
Yeah,
you deserve it.
kudos to you. Like
kudos,
that's sick. You know. So speaking of the couches, like let's lead right into it. We were talking about briefly before Amazon stores, right?
Yep.
I feel there's so many people posting, use me to buy your Amazon store, $10,000 sign up. Use my store, $15,000 sign up. Obviously, no one knows anything about it. Nobody knows who the hell these people are that are even pitching it. What goes on, how it even works.
Yep.
And, I'm curious myself, honestly, because I looked into it, but then I'm like, I don't know what the hell I'm doing. I'm not even going to bother. And then I get carried away with other things going on. So and then I'll come up again. And then, it's something because everybody's thinking, how can I make that passive income? And that's like a good way to possibly make it, right?
Exactly.
Just tell us a little bit about it, and then we'll dive into stuff like that.
So Amazon is definitely a great way to make passive income. But before we even dive into that, a lot of people dive into every investment and they're like, oh, new investors. So like, oh, this is going to have 100% success rate.
Right.
That's not always the case.
No.
Before we were talking, there's hiccups every single day, and they cost a lot of money.
There's no guarantees, and some things cost a good chunk of change to fix it.
Exactly. So with Amazon, when you're getting into the platform, you need to make sure that you're willing to take the risk of getting a seller store. Even if you have a management company, Amazon is their own company. we're not the tail that wags the dog. Amazon, controls the entire scenario. They control the environment.
Right.
So if they want to slow you down, they want to speed you up, they want to feature you, they want to give you a buy box, whatever, that's on them. We can only do so much to get to that point. But getting into an Amazon one and then trusting, your provider, your management company, huge. You probably want to make sure that you vet them and you want to understand what they're doing, what their success rate is, talk to other people who've had stores.
So what are the top 3 questions you would say are most important for somebody that's looking for a company, if it was you guys or somebody else, what 3 questions should they be asking you guys about your company?
I'd probably ask, one, how many employees they have, because with the less amount of employees, we had to double up on the people that were working with us just to fulfill the need of all the stores comfortably.
Right.
If we didn't have that manpower, there was no way we were going to do it. And some people bite off more than they can chew, and they see oh, you know what, I'm just going to get a couple hundred stores under my management, and then when their team falls, to the wayside, the stores are left, high and dry,
right,
and they're done for. We like to see it the opposite. I'd rather invest in infrastructure first, and I'll play the long game where we'll recoup our money and make sure that it's safe and sound in the beginning. Obviously with that, you come into, all these little roadblocks here and there. You're like, all right, well, I need to scale bigger.
Right.
I need to make sure this is secure. I need to have a security team to make sure my passwords are always, Loctite. All that stuff comes into play. And I never thought about that.
Yeah, you don't think, oh, I'm going to just open the store. And then you're like, oh, I got to have A, B, C, D, E, F, G all
Yeah. And every month is another thing you got to do. So they rolled out these insurance things now. You have to have $1 million liability insurance. Nobody saw that coming. But Amazon rolled that thing out.
Are they doing stuff like that because more and more people are getting involved in it and they're just trying to narrow down how many people are doing it?
I think they're weeding through people. They want to see who's the real sellers, who's going to be committed, who really wants to do this. And that's really what it comes down to. Hard work and dedication is going to persevere.
Right.
If you go into the investment and you're like, all right, well, 6 months in, it's not really doing what I expected it to do. And then you don't have, a backup plan, or you don't have, the wiggle room to kind of make it to the point where it's going to be at where you're content, you're happy, it's making really good money. And it varies. I've seen some stores, do a month 4, do what a store at month 10 is doing. And I've seen stores go all the way to month 10, trickling along the whole way. Right. And then month 10, you see, boom, and it's doing $100,000 months.
So what are those stores that are, in it for 4 months that are doing 10-month numbers, and stores that are being in it for 10 months doing 4-month numbers? Why is there a reasoning why?
There's nothing. So we can look and compare and contrast different accounts all day, and they look virtually the same on paper. So whatever it is on Amazon's internal system that's tracking these things, and that's making sure okay, you can do this, Josh, you can go to this level, Lou, you can go to this level. There's no way to see it. It's all in their back end system. So
literally 2 accounts could be selling the exact same stuff, start at the same time, and one person could be doing $5,000 a month, yep. One person could be doing $1,000, and there's no really rhyme or reason.
Yeah.
So crazy.
I actually had these 2 brothers, right? They opened their store the exact same date, right? Exact same date. Started up, same credit limit, the whole 9 yards, and one was always lagging by $3,000 or $4,000, and then next month it would surpass it, and the other one was doing $3,000 or $4,000 more than that one, and back and forth and
so
back
weird.
And forth. And they were like, yo, why is this happening? And I was like, I honestly have no idea. I was like, I fulfill everything that comes in.
Right.
I'm trying to push the store. Obviously, if a store makes more money, we make more money as the management company. But I try to push them to their max potential. And we were just looking at each other like, I have no rhyme or reason for this. It's Amazon really just controlling it.
It's so crazy.
So.
And for management company-wise, at running it, they just get a percentage of the net sales or whatever?
Exactly. So if you have a management company, they take a percent, not of net sales, unless they're, doing their own type of thing. We do of net profit, so it's of equal.
Oh, that's good, because a lot of restaurants, you buy a franchise, they'll take a 7% royalty, but it's right off the top number. It's not what the profit is. Yeah. It's right off the top number, which,
they're killing.
Is huge.
Yeah.
That's why McDonald's is, massive.
We do it off net profit because that's the fair way to do it.
No, it is. It's definitely, it's much fair, and I guarantee people would still do it the other. If you charge them the other way, I'm sure they would still do it. But you're kind of doing more of the right thing by your clients, and
I wouldn't feel morally right doing that.
Yeah.
It wouldn't make sense. And then Amazon as well, they have these payout structures that they pay you out every 2 weeks.
That's what I wanted to. So I wanted to ask you something about that you brought it up. You reminded me. So are you getting paid out on all the products? How long does it take for you to get paid? You do $10,000 in sales 1 month. but don't they like hold X amount of dollars in your account for returns and for whatever other nonsense?
Yeah.
So like you may do $10,000, but you're really getting like what, like $2,000 of it? Like how much are you getting?
No, so you would get a majority of the 10 grand. So right, so the $10,000 in sales. Let's say today, right, we did $10,000 in sales. They will not release that money. One, all the orders need to be fulfilled. So the fulfillment team who's doing it needs to be quick and on the money. They need to be.
That's why it's so important.
Yeah, that's the manpower issue. Once they fulfill all those orders, now you have a 14-day window where there's something called an account level reserve will dish out the money to the seller and deposit it into their bank account. So of the 10,000, they take a 15% cut right off the top. So you got 1,500 right to Amazon. Boom.
Okay. That's for using like their service for selling on Amazon.
That's for selling on Amazon.
Got it.
Bezos is a genius. I mean,
so he's making 15% off everybody to sell on his website.
Exactly.
Good for him.
Yeah, good for him. Right? I should have thought of that.
Yeah, shit.
So he takes 15% right off the bat.
Okay.
Then you have like any applicable fees, which would be like sales tax and stuff like that. They take those out.
So you don't have to. So you're not getting like at the end of the month or paying taxes quarterly as like running a company, or they are
depending. So with the taxes,
like the sales tax and all that,
they 1099K you, but the sales tax is taken care of by Amazon.
Okay, so you're just paying your taxes on your profits. They're paying the taxes for you.
Exactly. So the way it would work with the tax situation, you're obviously using a business credit card to fund your account. And then the amount of credit you have pretty much limits the amount of sales you can do. If you have, $30,000 or $40,000 worth of credit, I can buy $30,000 or $40,000 worth of profit. Worth of
products, right?
But then let's say I only have like a 10 to 15% margin on those. Just tack on 10 to 15% for profits, and that's what you'd be receiving. As profits plus the money back,
right?
So you can pay off your credit card.
So that's why you really need to have the larger account, because you're having months where you're not getting all that profit. Like you need to be able to keep the months going, so you kind of need that credit line.
I get phone calls all the time like, oh, my card's maxed out. I'm like, that's a good thing. I'm like, good. I'm happy you maxed your card out. That's awesome. Now, as soon as the money comes out, pay it off entirely, and let's do it again.
So there's some people like, if it's maxed out for a month, like the next month they're not really selling.
Well, they wouldn't be really maxed out for a month. Every 2 weeks is the payout.
Oh, every 2 weeks. Got it.
So when you get that payout every 2 weeks, you're paying your card down. Another 2 weeks, you're paying your card down consistently. Once your profits supersede like everything, let's say you have like 10, 15, 20 grand in profits, people really just use the profits to prepay their card.
Right. So you have
smooth.
And then you're probably getting credit increases and stuff like that. So you're really to the point where the funds become unlimited. Like if you're maxing out 150K, God bless, every month, like God bless at that point.
If you're doing 150 grand a month, you're one of my better clients, and like you're probably like super happy. We have a handful of them that are. So
like 150K a month person, like what's the average profit on something like
150K? So I had a store do like 140K last month. Did about like 21,000 in profit, which is good. A little on the lower end.
Okay.
I like to be closer to like that 20% line.
Right.
But in the teens, still really good.
I mean, he's making 20K and he's totally hands off. He's
hands off. Yeah.
Opened up a credit line basically.
He opened up a credit line, and he had to go into his app on his phone, pay the credit card bill. That was it.
It's not bad for
bad.
About $1,000 per second.
Yeah, exactly. But then you run into like these pitfalls sometimes. So like going back to the whole risk thing, and like not a lot of people talk about it. This is like the dark side of it. The risk factor is Amazon has the right to hold your funds for an extended amount of time. And it's happened to me. They've held almost 100 grand of my money.
Really?
Yeah.
And they give you like a rhyme or reason, or just like...
They can give you a rhyme or reason, or they don't have to. They could be super broad and just
right.
say...
And then good luck. Hey,
we're going to hold your funds for the next month. And then you're sitting there like, well, I can't pay my credit card bill for a month, so now what?
Yeah.
And not a lot of people prep clients for that. But I like to tell everyone right off the bat, hey, listen, Amazon is in control. They can do whatever they want at any time.
That's crazy.
Our job, what we do, is make sure that we have sales flowing. That is my main job. Fulfill everything, make sure customers are happy, and that's it.
Now, would you guys ever, or I don't know, maybe you thought about this already, would you guys ever get into the giving the credit and becoming like almost like the bank of the lender for it?
We've thought about it before.
Because if you can make... Oh, you're maxed out. All right, you want X amount of dollars, on 10% or whatever it is to float you by, stuff like that.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we always try to do like the right thing by the clients. When it comes to situations like that, like we'll message Amazon on top of that and try to get the money faster, which works 99% of the time. It does.
That's good.
It costs $1,000 for our company every time we send like an appeal. Not a lot of
really.
People, yeah, not a lot of people see
Why?
that. So writing an appeal, we don't do in-house. We have to hire a third-party company to write appeals.
And they charge
$1,000 every time to write a letter.
Unbelievable. That's so crazy, man.
People don't see that, but we spend like tens of thousands, if not hundreds of thousands in appeals, because it happens all the time. It's not uncommon. At least like 10 or 15 every single month.
That many?
It's going to happen. We have hundreds of accounts. So if you do the math on it, is probably
what, a 10%?
5-10% of the accounts run into like a hiccup every month.
That's crazy. Yeah. Now, is Amazon the same thing as like, do you guys do Walmart stores? Is that the same thing?
We do Walmart as well. Walmart's a little bit trickier. It's much harder to get involved and get approved on the Walmart platform. We have a pretty good approval rate, like 80% plus. But with the Walmarts, the Walmarts are the same exact way. They hold the power in their hands.
Do you see better turnouts on one over the other?
Yes and no. So Walmart was like the big dog for a while, especially during like COVID. Walmart just took off. So think about it like this: if you're going fishing, right, and you're in a pond, and there's 1,000 boats in a pond, right? Your chances of catching a fish are much less because there's 1,000 other competitors.
Right.
So that's Amazon. Now you're in a pond by yourself on a boat, right? That's Walmart. Walmart has like 50, 60,000 sellers. It's growing every single day, so the number could be off from Walmart.
Right,
but 50, 60,000 sellers to tens of millions on Amazon.
Yeah. That's what's really crazy, that there's so many stores on Amazon, but yet there's so many people still making plenty of money doing it.
Oh yeah,
like that just shows how much money is really being spent through Amazon. It's absolutely absurd.
People want the comfort of just ordering a product right to their home.
Yeah,
they don't want to go to the supermarket or store anymore. It's insane to me, but
it really is wild.
It makes sense because it's efficient. People want the convenience of what I need.
It's true.
Let me just click a button on my phone.
Honestly, I do it all the time. The other day, I was like, I don't want to go get my, I don't want to get my baby. I don't want to go buy my baby and buy formula. I've been buying 2-3 boxes at a time and going every so often. I'm like, you know what? Fuck it. I went on Amazon.
Buy it on Amazon.
I bought 5 boxes. I spent like $300 and I just shipped it to the house. I'm like, all right, good. I'm not going anywhere for the month.
Exactly.
Like it's, and in 2 days it was at the house. Like, how do you beat it?
Yeah, exactly. People like that. People like that convenience. That's why the model works. And even with all these new sellers coming in, it's not like super, super saturated, but you can tell the difference between Walmart and Amazon.
Do you think it's going to get cut off at one point where it's like it's going to be saturated to the point where like either Amazon or people just say like no more?
I think at a point we're nowhere near that. I think few years down the road. But then when that time comes, there's always going to be marketplace competition. So you have like Target and Costco and all those companies. If they open up an online marketplace,
right, then people are going to just jump onto that and try to do that.
Place, because they have loyal customers that will want to shop at Costco.com or Target.com, and Target does have their own, platform, but they don't allow third party yet.
Oh, okay.
So Amazon and Walmart are
they're all these, right? You guys are considered technically third party.
We're a third party seller,
right?
And a majority of the marketplaces are third party sellers. It's not actually Amazon fulfilling.
Right. So that's crazy. So for people that are that are listening, whatever, and they like it, what's the first couple steps if they wanted to work with you guys per se? What's the first couple steps that they kind of have to go through to start the process and get going?
Absolutely. So when you start up with this, obviously partnering with a management company. If it's our company, that's cool. You reach out to us. We have an Instagram page. We do primarily on Instagram just because a little bit easier. And then when you're there, you set up a phone call. One of our representatives is going to answer the phone call and kind of give you everything, all the steps needed, which would be opening a corporation, having a business line of credit, getting approved on the platform, which we handhold. We walk everybody through that stage so they're not doing anything they shouldn't be doing. Once you get through all those stages, our team takes over the back end and we're able to run the store for you. So it's pretty painless. I mean, today alone, I set up like 6 accounts.
So you guys source the products. You guys...
Everything.
So basically, the person signs... The hardest part for them is they pay their fee to sign up, their registration, whatever it is with you guys. Mm-hmm. They open up their line of credit. They do the application with Amazon with you guys. And then once it's approved, they're pretty much hands off until they either need to make payment to a credit card or...
Exactly.
Something.
Super hands off. So they don't really have to touch anything. Like a lot of clients, I literally speak to them 1 or 2 times a month. Some of them I speak to every single day, just depending like
what they need,
who it is, or what they need. Let's say I have a question. Like we have an open support team that's working 24/7 answering emails. But if you go that route, you're just like, you just want to have all the information.
Right.
That's fine. We provide, you know.
Yeah, that's awesome.
No problem at all. And I see a lot of these other e-com companies, and I've heard horror stories about people saying they try to get in touch with the owner, they just block their phone number. You know, let's say a store gets shut down or gets suspended or something like that.
Right. You get lost in the dust, and you're clueless.
Block their phone number and never talk to them. I was like, what the heck?
That's wild.
I'm like, you guys do that to people? Like, I don't understand how people do that. But I've helped salvage a couple like accounts that were, you know, screwed over by these other companies. Try to pull them back on board and make them some money, so at least you know, they're whole. But getting started really is super easy. It'll take less than a week or two. Realistically, if you're fast enough, you have an accountant that's going to give you a corporation. You know, go to the bank, open a business bank account, credit card. About a week or two, get on board, and then it's hands off.
That's great.
Yeah.
And all right, so that sounds good. I think a lot of people that are definitely curious about running that, I think that's really awesome. The people that I want to dive back into now more the investing side, because I know that's your guys' like bread and butter.
I love the investing. It's more of a passion than a job at this point.
Right.
Like I wake up.
You enjoy it every day.
It's literally to look at the market because I want to understand what's going on. But then the thing behind it is like the psychology of like the world and like the events going on around it behind it. People don't realize like that is the key driving factors for the market.
Absolutely.
You know,
so how many hours a day are you staring at these screens trying to analyze what's the next play?
Yeah, too much, man. I could look at my phone right now. Let's check the screen time. You're going to laugh. We're going to laugh right now.
You're pretty much glued to it.
I'm glued to it. How do you check this?
That's a good question. I'm sure it's a lot either way.
It's a lot. So today alone, 6 hours. Just on my phone. That's not including my computer.
Right.
You know, and it's only 5 o'clock, so we got plenty of time left in the day.
Yeah.
I'll probably be glued to the computer till like 10, 11 o'clock tonight.
So like, are you analyzing things the night before, the morning of?
Both.
So
night before is always good because you can recognize setups. Day of, day trading, intraday trading, whatever. You can see setups happening. You can see where stocks are hitting certain levels or anything like that. Those are also key. Like I like to trade off Fibonacci levels. If I'm trading off Fibonacci levels, you know, those are all based off percents, retractions, and everything like that.
Okay.
Or retracements, of certain stocks. That's my way of trading. Some people don't like that. Some people like to trade off, you know, like MACD, RSI, and, you know, volume, stuff like that. There's just other technical terms.
Okay.
But when you look at certain factors that work for you, and like you almost get cursed with knowledge when you start to learn so much.
Right.
You're like, what about this? What about that? What about this? What about that? It gets crazy. Find a method that's simplified and works for you. And then really the underlying thing is understand psychology. If you understand psychology, and like one of my partners, Matt, he's, you know, a psychological master. Like he understands market psychology like no tomorrow. He just gets it. When he really like dives in and discusses like certain plays and certain things like that, the ideas behind the plays are broken down by actual like thoughts. You know, it's not the technical factors. It's, hey, this or that, you know, was making this move this way. You know, we can see the market around it or like the environment around it causing these things to happen.
Right.
That's one way to trade, but you really want to find a simplified version.
Now, are you guys trading more like shorts and, you know, I don't know what the technical term is when you're
calls and puts.
Calls and puts. Okay.
That's option trading. I do longs. You know, I do shares as well. I do crypto as well. I don't trade futures. You know, some people get burned in there really bad, and I've never dabbled in futures before. But really, call options, put options, shares are my like go-to, and that's really what we give out on like a daily basis.
Gotcha.
You know, sometimes we'll trade like in the money, super in the money, and further out, just for like more security, stuff like that. God forbid, you know, this market is very hectic. Some days it goes, you know, super red, super green.
Well, how was that ride when everybody was going crazy with Dogecoin, whatever? And
I didn't get in.
No,
I didn't get in. You know what?
Dude, it was great. 30%. There was like 30% increases and drops in like 24 hours.
24 hours, yeah. I'm a fan of Elon Musk, you know, but I think
crazy swings.
I think what he did when he like pumped it up and like the social media stuff.
When he went on,
crazy.
I'll never forget it. Everybody was telling me, "Oh, he's going on ESL or whatever he was going on." SNL. He was going on SNL. Buy it. It's gonna skyrocket as soon as he's done. And the thing dove so quick to the ground. I was like, holy God! Yes. And then like the next day, it was back up like 25%. I'm like, this is nuts.
Mm-hmm. Well, it fell back into a supply zone where people like had probably buy orders down there, and it just picked them
right back up, and then shot it up.
Shot it right back up. You know, so some of those guys were smart putting those limit orders all the way down there.
They just put in there whenever if it happens one day and it hits there, boom.
Good to canceled. Good. All right. Awesome. And it hit it. They were probably sleeping. They didn't even realize.
Yep.
And they woke up in the morning like 20% gain.
And then they just sell it, boom.
Exactly. So like I do that a lot with crypto. I'll do like a lot of limit orders and just like kind of like stagger them all the way through to the bottom levels. And I always pick up more crypto at the bottom. You know, so for instance, we see like these market caps, right? And this is more like something my partner Anthony is like super in tune with, the crypto markets. He's actually the reason why I made a lot of my crypto money.
He's big into the crypto. You're more into like the Tesla style.
Yeah, I like the blue chips. I'm a blue chip guy. You know, they gave me this weird nickname called like the Nvidia Whisperer. Hilarious. I like it. I mean, I embrace it. It's my track record with that stock has been like 90% positive. Like every time I call out a play on it, it just wins. So they gave me that nickname. I was like,
hey, I'll take it.
I'll take it.
Right? Yeah, absolutely.
You know, Matt is like the market whisperer. He just sees everything and anything. He just gets it. Anthony's definitely like crypto 100%.
He's into the crypto.
He's phenomenal at crypto, I will say, without a doubt. Awesome trader. But what he recognizes is market cap trends. So market cap for crypto, if anybody knows, you know what it is. When you're looking at the market cap, it's kind of bouncing between 1.8 trillion and 2 trillion.
Okay.
So he knows around 1.8 trillion. There's a high likelihood, one, it's either going to bounce closer to 2 or you're going to fall right there. So if we watch it super carefully at those levels, we can time it and make great money.
You're just trying to see like, okay, bet that we're going to fall or bet that we're...
Exactly. You know, and there's other factors involved. You know, if you're looking at the candlesticks to see if it's going to drop or if it's going to rise, you know, based off the trend.
Right.
So that's crypto.
There's honestly so much shit. That's if I was to, like, I don't get involved with stocks because I have no idea what I'm doing at all. Mm-hmm. But for people that want to start getting into it, like going with a company that has like a proven track record that could at least be like, all right, put in a purchase for this or that. Like, this is what we're doing. Obviously, if you want to come along for the ride, you know, this is what we're doing.
Exactly.
Like, that's the only way I think I would ever make it possible.
Yeah.
There's just so much.
Diving into it without, honestly, any experience, I really don't recommend. You know, I've heard too many people just blow their accounts up. And, like, unfortunately, like, everyone got this COVID money. And they're like, oh, let me throw it on Dogecoin or something. I'm like, what are you doing?
I heard, though, some people, if they bought it from, like, the day one, like, people started getting it, like, they made, like, they turned, like, that $1,500 into, like, $150,000.
Yeah, they did good money.
You know, so it's...
they're buying it, like, 0.002.
Yeah.
And it went to 60 cents or 70 cents. They did great.
I mean, that's...
Yeah. We have some good ones that we got. We got, like, VeChain at, like, 0.007. It went to, like, 26 cents, something like that.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That was an awesome one.
So what's that, 7/10 of a penny it was?
7/10 of a penny. Yeah, that was my entry at least. You know, I did really well on that one. But VeChain is kind of more like a long-term hold. I like that one. I don't really dabble in like the shit coins or the, you know, so-called shit coins. It's just, you have no potential future. You're going based off of like people's hype and like Wall Street Bets or whatever, or like Reddit, and like just hype these.
Were you guys involved when people were all over the Reddit chain and buying AMC and all this stuff?
Yeah, so super cool fact. With GME, I didn't even know that they were trying to pump the stock. I looked at the stock and I was like, wow. I'm like, this is going to squeeze. So I didn't realize that there was like a bandwagon of people from like Wall Street Bets. I was like, all right, this is a good squeeze setup. I bought the furthest out call that you could possibly buy at the time, which was like a $60 call. GME was $32, $33 at the time. Buying a $60 call, you're talking 100% gain on a stock. That's not happening, right? What happens? Stock goes to $400, right? I had 25,000 in options. 25,000 did really, really well. Did like almost 950%. Sold it out. The option went 6,600% gain after I sold.
That's crazy,
right? It was nuts. It got halted so many times, but we alerted the team. And I want to say at least like 4 or 5
what was that? Like a lot of people using like Robinhood when they're like, oh, no more trading.
Oh my God, don't get me started with Robinhood. I'm not a fan. Not a fan.
I mean, it's crazy when, you know, that they even have the power that they're allowed to be like, nope, you know, the people are making too much money, or we're not allowing anybody to make any more money, basically.
They were overextended on margin. So overextended, they would have just destroyed their company.
It would have folded.
Yeah, they would have folded, you know. But it happens, and, you know, a lot of people in our group were showing 6-figure numbers, like, holy crap, made $100,000. Random people, you know. I had like a 21-year-old kid over here in Massapequa. He made like a few $100,000. Like,
Dude, it's life changing, especially at that age. I mean, if you use that and actually do something
smart with it.
That could set you up.
Yeah, I told him, I was like, put it in your bank account and, save it up, invest in something smart like real estate or something like that. Like, should have given him your number.
Yeah, should have given him my numbers right.
Yeah. next time I'll give him your number.
So, for people that are interested in getting involved in either the crypto space, they want to get involved in marketing with, an Amazon store, or, you guys do so many things. We didn't even touch base on, the nutrition part that you guys are,
the nutrition company.
We could dive into 2 seconds. I know you guys have the weekly plans. I think everybody's super, super busy, these days with work, and they start eating like shit.
Yeah.
And then they end up looking like shit.
Yep.
But, you guys now have, I don't even know the name of the company.
It's called Quality Life Nutrition.
Okay.
So I was thinking in my head, and, it was with a good buddy of mine, George. And I was thinking in my head, I'm like,
I'll give you a shout out, George.
Yeah. George. Such a good guy. So I was thinking myself, I was like, you know what? I was like, money is cool. I was like, what can't money buy? And then it clicked. I was like, health. You can't buy health.
Yep.
It's impossible. But what can you buy to achieve health? Quality meals. You could buy healthy meals to get you to your goal. People have crazy schedules. I hear it all the time. I hear it from the trading aspect. I hear it from the Amazon side. People
even in your business, even your past life of,
past life of bodybuilding.
Of bodybuilding, right? And always working out and trying to eat this and drink all this water and this and that. Like, it kind of just fit.
It fit right, and it made sense to me. And when it all just, came all the way around, I was like, you know what? Health is like the next area that I wanted to dabble into. And people don't have the time to make those healthy meals, weigh out the portions, and eat it on the go. They're just like, you know what, I'm just going to get like Taco Bell or Subway.
It's a lot of work.
Something gross, whatever. But so what we did, we made these hot meals, fresh, ready to go. As soon as you want an order, we do these orders like every week. If you order by like 11:59 p.m. by Friday, you'll have it by Sunday. Hot, ready, right off the grill, packaged nice, weighed out exactly how you want it. And a lot of these companies do like the flash frozen meals.
Mm-hmm.
We don't believe in that. So we just do hot meals, ready to go. Which kind of changed the quality entirely.
Yeah.
So instead of eating a frozen steak,
right, you're not getting something that can last 2 weeks because it's frozen. It's it's good for 5 days. It's good for that week. You got to eat it that week.
Yeah. Have you ever had a meal before?
Not from you guys, no.
No, from like any company.
Yeah.
So those packaged meals on day 4, day 5, they start smelling a little funky. Kind of pushed me off a little bit. But then with our meals, day 4, day 5, smell great. I'm like, wow, this works. This makes sense. So we kept it going. Got a good client base, it's been picking up awesome, and super happy with it.
Oh, that's awesome. Best of luck with that, because I know it's like kind of like your newest one. So for anybody that's interested, we'll run down the line. Amazon store, quality food, we got crypto, we got regular stocks. I don't know, all the shit that you're doing.
We got a bunch of stuff.
What's the best way for them to reach out to you guys if they want to ask you questions, possibly sign up? Where do they get you?
So you can definitely go right to my main one. Instagram, it's at Louis Albanese. And then it's
officially with the blue check mark.
Got the blue check now. We're good.
He's official.
So, I'm official. You could always DM me. I'm on my phone all the time, so I'll be able to answer you guys. If you're going to go specifically for the investment chat, we have at Invest in Your Freedom. And then if you're going to go for the meals, you go Quality Life Nutrition. That's qualitylife.nutrition, actually. And then the Amazon or the e-com stores, it's Ecom Freedom 365.
So. All right, you heard it there. So again, I appreciate you coming on. Really appreciate it. A lot of interesting knowledge, and I'm sure we could have gone on for hours about each one.
Absolutely.
But thanks for taking the time and coming in. I know you're super busy.
I appreciate it.
So thanks for coming in. Again, once you make all your tens and hundreds of thousands of dollars in crypto, in stocks, in your Amazon store, and you're eating healthy and you feel great, you're going to call me. We're going to take your money. We're going to put it to good use. We're going to buy you a nice house and get some rental property. So again, if you have any questions real estate related, give me a call, 516-732-6398. Until next time, that's a wrap.